Why experiences is the best teacher. 8 years in the travel business teaches you things that no unboiled course will ever teach you or will ever cover. This is real stuff. The things that have actually separated an agent who has built something meaningful from someone who's struggled and eventually gave up. The shortcuts that only experiences reveal, the mistakes that are completely avoidable if somebody just told you about them in advance. And there were so many that I could share with you. In this video, I'm going to share 7 of those lessons with you. Things I wish somebody had told me from the very start. Things I've learned through doing, through falling, through adjusting, through watching others succeed and struggling through the years. Because sometimes you can't gain that experience. I'm Frederick Jones from zentraveluk, 8 years in the game, helping people find their little piece of zen, and here's what you need to know. Tip 1. Your warm market is your fastest start. Tip 1, and I cannot stress this enough, your warm market is the fastest route to your first bookings. I mean, one of my first bookings was my parents. I booked them because they were looking at a destination to retire to. They ended up booking a trip to Ghana and I ended up booking that all for them. Like, that was one of my first, no, it wasn't one of my first, but it was one of my first that I had to really deal with. So, and that was one of the greatest ones I've actually done. Your warm market is the people who are you already know, like you, and they trust you. Friends, families, colleagues, former colleagues, people from your community, your church, your gym, your school, people who just follow you on social media. They're your warm market because those are the people who are watching you on a regular basis. So thanks for watching. And I see new agents make these mistakes consistently. They get all shy and then they don't talk. They don't want to tell people that they know because they feel awkward about it. And trust me, I've been there. I've done exactly that. They worry about what people think. So they go straight to the cold market and start talking to strangers. I did this for over a year. And when I say it's harder that way because you're not calloused enough to deal with the harsh reality that some of these people will give you. I mean, I got hit with one question so much that it made me almost doubt what the hell I was doing in the market in the first place. They were like, what makes you different from any other the normal website, or what makes you different from booking at the holiday supermarket? Why should I book with you? That question caused me to relook at myself so hard that and that was because I chose to go into the cold market. And I would say I almost considered quitting, almost. But here's the truth. The people who you know will give you a chance. And precisely because they know you, no other reason, they're not judging you and your credentials or your years of experience. They're booking with you because they trust you. You as a person. To trust in you is the greatest asset that you have to getting started. So use it. Tell people what you do. Be specific about what you do and how you help people. Don't be ashamed to say, I've just started this business and I'm learning about the industry. Being transparent is one of the most powerful tools that we have today. And you don't have to be embarrassed about it. You're offering a genuine, valuable service. So own it. Because at the end of the day, it's what makes you. Tip number 2, niche down earlier than you think you should. Luxury cruises, honeymoons, specific earnings, that's what you need to do. So tip 2, niche down. And do this much earlier than you feel comfortable doing. Pick one product. Because when you start out, the temptation is to be a travel agent who does everything and say, hey, everybody, I do holidays, all sorts of holidays. And like that comes with its own loose, whatever you call it. You can hang yourself very quickly. Any destination is not the way forward. Any type of holiday, any client, you think of the wider net, and the more niche it is, the more finer the net is the more easier it is to catch. The opposite is actually true, where if you niche that down, you'll get it. Specialists are more memorable. Specialists are more referable. Specialists build deeper supplies relationships that result in better rates and access. The specialist tends to work on higher value bookings because the luxury clients, the honeymoons, the couples, the cruises, the enthusiasts are looking for someone who really knows their product. And that's key. Think about what genuinely excites you about travel. Luxury resorts, family holidays, river cruises, honeymoons, weddings abroad, solo travel adventure, and even adventure trips. Build your identity around that, because that becomes the person people think of when it becomes to that specific thing in mind. You can still book other things for your clients. I mean, it's all available to you, so you're not limited. But your brand on your social media, on your marketing, let's just tell that specific story, because that helps your customers relate to you. That helps them connect with you. That helps them see you. That helps them refer you. Know what I'm saying? Tip 3. Consistency beats hustle every single time. Trust me on this one. Tip 3. Consistency always wins over intensity. I know this firsthand. I've done this. I've seen this pattern so many times. Someone joins, they're incredibly motivated. They go in for 3 to 4 weeks, posting consistently, reaching out to everyone, staying up late, and then they burn out and they go quiet for a month. Because the reality is they were unprepared. The problem with that approach is that building a business, especially a client-based business, is built on trust, it's built on reputation. It requires consistency over time, not bursts, not the sprint. Steady, sustainable showing up. Posting on social media 3 times a week, every week, or for a year, that builds an audience. Following up with every inquiry, every time without failing, that closes bookings. Checking with the past clients every few months, that generates a repeat business. None of those things are glamorous. They're boring as work, but none of them feel like a breakthrough moment. None of them, it really doesn't. But compounded over months, over years, that's what builds something real. Dedicate what you can, realistically. Sustain it, then sustain it again. Because that's, I don't know what it is it builds, but I tell you what, you build that community of people that you can talk to about the things that really keep you motivated all the time. You can always trigger that emotion within people just through keeping that consistency and that sustainability. It makes people stay tuned in with you. It makes people watch you. It makes people see what you're doing, when you're doing it, how often you're doing. It makes people ask questions. It makes people see where you've been and how you actually really collate all of your thoughts and ideas. It helps them relate to what you're doing. Tip 4, follow up where the money is. Most bookings happen on the third and fourth conversation. This is my biggest pain. Tip 4, follow up more than what feels natural. The majority of bookings in a business do not happen in the first conversation. Some inquiries they think about, they get busy, life gets in the way, and if you don't follow them up, either they book somewhere else or they just don't book at all. A simple, friendly follow-up message. Hi, just checking in on your inquiry to see if you saw what I sent you last week. I'm happy to answer any questions. These are the things you say to people. It costs you 30 seconds of your time and can be worth hundreds of pounds in commission. Set up a simple system. This is so vitally important. When inquiries come in, note it down somewhere, a spreadsheet, a notebook, a CRM, and use that one. Set a reminder to follow up 3 days later, and again a week after that, and again and then the next week. Most people stop following up because they don't want to seem pushy. But there's a huge difference between being pushy and being persistent and professional. People are busy. A friendly reminder that you're still there and still ready to help them is it's always going to be appreciated. Believe it or not, I fight with myself about this all the time because I always feel like I'm being pushy when I'm emailing people more than I know I should. But that's something I'm working on. That's something I'm building on to build better relationships with my customers and my clients and actually let them know that I'm there to help, that I'm not forgotten about them. They're always on my radar. So, number 5, treat this like a business from day one. Tip 5, when I say treat this like a business from day one, this sounds obvious, but the number of people who do not do this is absolutely remarkable. Set dedicated working hours at the very beginning of you starting your business. Even if this just seems like 2 hours a day or in and around another job, show up for those hours as you would for any employer. Because remember, if you can show up for an employer for 8 hours, why can't you show up for a couple of hours for yourself? Have a workspace, create an office, create a corner, create a desk or just basically an area where you can shut the world off for an hour or two. Have a system of tracking your inquiries and your bookings, people who are showing interest, people who have liked your posts or your holiday deals you put up, and build that list, create those names. Because know your numbers, because how many inquiries came in this week? How many did they convert into commissions? How much did that earn? The agency treats this casual and usually people who treat this casual get casual results. The agencies that treat this like a real business, who plan, who track, who review and adjust, get real business results. It doesn't need to be a complicated system. I've literally just gave you a blueprint. A simple spreadsheet is enough to start this off, but all you need is some structure. Without it, it's very easy to feel like you're busy without actually moving forward. I did this for a full year, so I know exactly how that feels. Tip 6. Using social media to educate, not just sell. Tip 6. If you're using social media to grow your business, educate people rather than just sell to them, because people want to know about your business. People nowadays don't just want to see the product. I mean, they do, They do want the recommendations, but they want to know more about the product you sell, why you've chosen the product, what makes this product so special, and then how can they go about booking it with you. It's like, so it sounds so simple, it sounds so whatever, but you'll be surprised that the world doesn't see this via your social media. They just see a post, bam, there you go. The big mistake I see in travel agents that they make on social media is posting nothing but call me, book now, book your holiday type content with a price list, generic destinations, generic photos with a phone number, post after post after post after post after post. I have known this. If you look back through my freaking social media, I've gone through a time where on every single platform, that's all I posted. It didn't create engagement. It didn't connect with nobody. Nobody resonated with me because it was purely promotional. That content gets ignored very quickly. And people can scroll past it because they've seen it before. Once somebody gets into a repetitive pattern, they can just ignore it very easily. And worse, it trains your audience to associate your post with being sold to. So they start tuning in to somebody else entirely, and then they tune out. What works is content that gives you value, travel tips, destination guides, things to know before you book a cruise, the best time of the year to visit a certain place, common holiday mistakes, and how to avoid them. Behind the scenes of how you research your trips for your clients. Some people like to know this because then they like to know the efforts that you're putting in to build their memorable holiday. That kind of content builds trust in that position. And as you know, as you being a knowledgeable expert, not the person just trying to take your money from them. And when those followers are ready to book their holiday, and they will be eventually, you will be the person they turn to. You will be the person they think of because they follow you, they've connected with you, they see what you do, they know your process. So that builds the relationship, and that builds those clients, and that builds that trust. Tip number 7, your personal brand is your biggest asset. Tip number 7, invest in your personal brand. It is, over the long term, your most valuable business asset. Now, this is something I never really did at the beginning, but it's now something that is my core focus. My brand is everything. My brand is exactly what my business is. My brand is everything that supports my business, feeds every idea, feeds every connection. It's my core message. It's my core that I believe in. It's what I bring to my table. People don't just book holidays with agencies. They book with people. Specifically, they are booking with people that they trust. And trust is built through visibility, consistency, and authenticity over time. Your name, your face, your story, your values, and even your personality. The way you show up online, in the conversation, all of that is your personal brand, and that's something that no competitor can replicate. Share your journey. Let people see who you are behind the travel agent. Like that holiday you've been taking, the moments in your business that excite you, the things that you've learned, the values that drive you. Over time, that authenticity builds an audience of people who feel like they know you and who you are. When the moment comes to book their holiday, they'll be thinking of you first, not because you had the cheapest deal or because they trust you. The most powerful position in any business is to have that brand, is to have that connection. So make that solid, make it your core, feed that out into the world, because that will be the reason why people book with you. Seven tips, 8 years of learning. I hope at least one of those shifts something in your mind. If you're thinking about starting a travel business, or you've already in one and you want to build it properly, the best conversation you can have is a one-to-one with somebody who's already done it or already doing it. That is exactly what a free call booking link in my description is for. No pressure, no pitch, just a full conversation, just half an hour to 45-minute conversation with myself to connect, and we can actually build a relationship if need be. If not, build a business that could work for you. And if you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button. I've got a full content series coming with everything about host agencies, reviews on how PlanNet Marketing actually works, to the real story of building Zen Travel UK over 8 years. Links in the description, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.